Welcome to Salesology, conversations with sales leaders, the art of faster, easier, more profitable sales. When you're ready to transform your sales for today's transforming market, we've got you covered with your host, the queen of cold calling and founder of Salesology, award-winning author, speaker, sales trainer, and coach, Wendy Weiss.
Hi, welcome to Salesology, conversations with sales leaders, the art of faster, easier, more profitable sales. And I am your host, Wendy Weiss. I am the founder of Salesology and the Salesology Prospecting Method. I'm also known as the queen of cold calling. And today, my very special guest is Robert Weiss, no relation, but he's a Weiss, so we know he's very smart and talented. And Robert is the president of MultiVision Digital, which is a New York video production and video marketing company that provides the full spectrum of video strategy, video production, and video marketing services. They have produced over 1,500 videos since their inception. And MultiVision Digital's holistic approach has allowed clients to increase sales, increase lead generation, improve SEO rankings, and increase awareness and client loyalty. So welcome, Robert.
Thank you very much. Hello, Wendy, and hello to everybody listening.
Right. So let's begin at the beginning, which is where we always begin. Mm-hmm. How did you come to be the president of MultiVision Digital? How did you get into video? How did you start your business? Tell us the whole backstory.
I'll try to make it as short as possible, but I'm a sales guy. I've been in sales all my life, selling different types of internet marketing technologies, and even sold before the internet was invented. But I saw the writing on the wall. So I've seen the adoption of websites when you had to sell websites. They've seen the adoption of email marketing when it was considered spam and social media. And I saw the writing on the wall with video as the next big thing, for all the reasons why video is awesome, and we'll talk about today. So I started the business with zero experience in video and started picking up the phone, making phone calls, going to networking events. And 13 years later, we've done over 1,500 videos. We've got great clients. I have a good team, and looking to build the company.
Hey, so why is video so awesome? How did you see the handwriting on the wall and know that this was the next big thing and that it was going to be so truly, truly awesome?
Well, there's soft reasons and there's hard reasons. I think I'll start with the soft reasons first. There's no better digital marketing tool that can communicate so much information in a short amount of time and put the person first. And in a B2B sale, you're always buying somebody. As much as it's the product or the solution, whatever it is, it's the relationship. And there's no other better tool that's online than video to showcase a person, who they are, their like and trust factor increases, as well as understanding about the company, the product, the solution, whatever that is. So when you have all of that, and then you have a tool that can be reused and repurposed in many different areas, and many times a sales video is evergreen. It's going to last 3 to 5 to 6 to 7 years. That's amazing ROI that you can get from that piece of content. So that's kind of why I started the company. I saw that.
All right. So I want to be clear about what we're talking about. You are talking about video online, say on a website, as opposed to maybe an individual salesperson creating a video and sending it off to a prospect? Or are you talking about both?
So originally I was talking about the former. in terms of creating a product video that explains a product or a process that would typically be on a website that a salesperson can then use to send a link to somebody to explain what they do, to help them understand what they do. Actually, no, it should have been the former. The latter, which was the one-to-one sales video, is a different use case of video. It is video, and that's, one of the things that people should start thinking about now is like video is not a one-shot deal. There's many different kinds of videos, many different shapes and sizes of videos. And I would just have them think about all the different types of content that they have, from brochures to case studies to emails to social media posts. They have all that different types of content. Maybe they're also advertising in a magazine. That's content. So they are creating many, many different pieces and forms of content for all the different funnel stages. And video is exactly that. Video is just content. So when you start thinking about video, you want lots of different forms and shapes and styles of content. And that's what you refer to, right? You've got the evergreen content about a product or process that is not going to significantly change for the next 5, 6, 7 years. But then you have that one-to-one video that you might create before a meeting or after a meeting to summarize the meeting. But that's a one-to-one, or sometimes maybe a one to small many. Those are very, very different use cases, very different platforms that you use that on, and a different cadence upon which you do one versus the other.
Okay, so if I am a business owner or a sales manager, I am someone that manages a sales team.
Mm-hmm.
I am a sales leader. Where would I start? I say, okay, yeah,
Let's
Robert, I want to start adding some video. What do I do?
Yep.
Where do we start?
So the first thing you do when you start thinking about video is to forget about video. All right. What are your business strategy? Are you launching a new product? Do you have a product, but now it has another use case for another industry that you're going to go focus in on? Did you just get an email, or sorry, a CRM system like HubSpot, for example, and now you are creating different persona drip marketing campaigns, and you need different forms of educational content? So what is your business strategy? Again, forget about video and now align video towards that specific business objective. So I spoke about the product launch, the email nurturing, and the drilling down into another industry. Those are 3 different specific use cases that you might start with one, but now you have a roadmap for the next 2 years or 3 years to develop content for all those different use cases. But which one is a priority now? Where are you spending your time and money on? Video should supplement that push into a new industry, supporting the launch of that new product. And the reason is because people are watching more video versus reading. Not to say that they won't read, but early stages of the sales funnel, they need to understand quickly. And video gives buyers what they want is information quick, number one. Number two, in a very enjoyable format. And they also get to understand more about your people and processes and company than they would by reading, because with video, you're telling them what they need to know, not having them try to figure it out. So it's a little bit more than just getting started.
Okay. So is there data that shows that more people watch videos than read?
Oh, yes, 100%. Yeah. Who's ever watching this, if you want data, just type in video marketing statistics, and there's a gazillion of them about how video improves every single part of the funnel, from awareness to conversion to more productive in the sales process. Okay? Because people are watching more video, and not to say this again, but video gives people the most amount of information in the shortest amount of time. So if your buyer's not busy, then they could probably spend time to read and figure it out. But if they are busy, then they're going to appreciate the video for that reason.
So what are some do's and don'ts when you think about, okay, we have a product launch and we need a landing page, but we're going to put video on it, or any of these other types of use cases that you've been describing. What are some do's and what are some don't ever do this?
Well, I'm going to start with the don't first. And there's a lot of examples out there of videos of products that you see the product working and there's dance music behind it. There might be some text here and there. That's a don't.
Why is that a don't?
Because it doesn't mimic the way people interact in a buying cycle. They have humans, right? They have people explaining things. So the do is to have one of, and especially if you're in sales, right? Remember, salespeople lie all the time. Tech people are gold. So we want your tech person to be on video and explaining things. Just like they
take
would.
Exception to salespeople
Yes,
lie
I
all
know.
the time.
Most buyers think that mostly, right?
Well, some buyers do say that. Okay.
Yes.
Nobody can see us making finger quotes. So
yes.
Yeah.
Say that jokingly. But if you're a salesperson, enterprise level sale or anything significant in dollar volume purchase, you're going to capture that lead. You're going to ask some questions. You're going to nurture a little bit. And there's going to be a certain point where you're going to have your technical team or engineering team or whatever with you on those meetings. And the conversation is going to shift to them engaging with your client. And that's the type of video content that you want to do. Is that product launch may not have just one video. There might be 5 or 6 videos, because the first thing somebody needs to do is understand the high level products, benefits, and the use cases. And then once they understand that, then they're going to have questions. So if you can now have a series of FAQ questions that already, kind of give them the information they need, then number one, that mimics their buying process. And number two, that's building a lot of trust and, the know factor, the know, like, and trust factor with your people, even before they pick up the phone to call you. And that's a good thing.
So what I'm hearing is that video does not stop prospects from wanting to talk to salespeople.
Yes. And that happens to be, I'm glad you brought that up, because that happens to be a myth. I do a lot of trade shows and they say that I want people calling me. I want to be engaged with people. I'm like, yes, we do. We all do. But that gets people more qualified when they do talk to you, because they've already seen your video, maybe seen some of those follow-up. They're more empowered and they've made their own decision that, yes, I'm going to call them because of the information that they provided me. And, I never thought about this before, but I'm kind of thinking as I speak that the people that say that probably don't believe that the internet is such a information gathering tool, right? I mean, you got to be on board with the first thing that buyers are going to do is either search on the internet, or maybe they've met you at a trade show or got a recommendation. They're still going to go to the internet on your website to check you out, right? So it doesn't matter, but they're still going to go to your website at some point and do their due diligence before they pick up the phone to call you. And the more information, the more empowered you can make them, the more qualified they're going to be. And video does that. Yeah, that's what it does.
Okay. So you mentioned earlier about multi-purpose video, that you can use it over and over and over again over a long period of time. Could you talk to that a little bit?
Yep. So let me kind of disqualify that for a second here, because you talked about video in the earlier in this the discussion. You talked about the the product launch video, and then the one-to-one video. So we're not talking about the one-to-one. That's a one-to-one use case, communication done. We're talking more about the product, the industry use case, the process, recruiting videos, sustainability videos, those things that can last a long time. So once you have them, obviously you want to put them on your website. You might embed them on YouTube, put them on YouTube and embed them on your website. But then you can take those videos and create blog content, social media content, email nurturing campaigns. If it's a series of videos around one topic, maybe you can write a press release around that. Maybe you can give that informational rich videos to an industry publication to embed in an article on their website that you purchase. If it's a product launch video and you're advertising in a magazine for the next trade show you're at, you can put a QR code there that goes directly to the video. So there's so many different ways that you can reuse and repurpose that video content in many different channels. Little asterisks here, you should plan for it. You should not just hope that happens. And that's one of the things that a video production company can help you with, is helping you to plan the production. So therefore, the deliverables are for all those different channels that you need. You can't just take a video and then hope you get social media snippets out of it. No, that needs to be planned for. So have your main video, but then you're going to carve out 4 or 5 different social media pieces from that. You want to be thinking about that as you're going into production with the messaging and of course the editing. Okay. Yeah. But still, from that video production project, if you will, you're getting multiple pieces of content and repurposing and reusing them.
Okay. I have many, many, many more questions to ask my special guest, Robert Weiss. No relation. But we're going to pause now for a word from our sponsor. And then when we come back, I want to hold Robert's feet to the fire and talk about conversion and also maybe some success stories. But now, a word from our sponsor, the Salesology Vault. And just about every guest that I have interviewed on the Salesology Conversations with Sales Leaders podcast has had a free gift for our listeners. And that does include my special guest today, Robert Weiss, no relation. And what we've done is we've taken all of those gifts and we put them all in one place just for you. We call it the Salesology Vault, and it's packed full of free gifts from sales leaders, sales experts, marketing gurus, revenue generation experts, and we add another gift every single week. We release a podcast every Monday, and when we release that podcast, we add a gift. So you can log in as often as you'd like and download as many gifts as you'd like. It's all free. So the link to the Salesology Vault is in the show notes. So as soon as you finish listening to this podcast, go to the show notes, click on the link. You'll be glad you did. And we are back with my special guest, Robert Weiss, no relation. He is the president of MultiVision Digital. So, Robert, I want to go back to something that you said earlier about how video increases conversion. So could you speak to that a little bit and maybe give us some before and after examples?
So I'll give you 2, an A and a B here. So let's talk about search, right? Search conversions. Videos increase search engine ranking because it gives buyers what they need quickly. And one of the big benefits is that it increases dwell time on websites. So over time, because people will dwell and watch the video versus reading. So if you take those 2 things together, your website will increase more conversions than if you didn't have video, right? And then going back to the sales process, having a 3 or 4 page brochure versus 3 or 4 videos of a product, again, one being a high level and the next 3 or 4 being more kind of question answer things, really quick moments in time where you can, showcase different aspects, like kind of like peeling back the onion of that product. Having that collection of videos will, again, give buyers the most amount of information in the shortest amount of time, will make it an enjoyable experience for them, will allow them to get to know your people, maybe see your facility, versus looking at that brochure, which is harder for them. So if you make it easier for them while having them to get to know your people, showcasing your facility will increase conversions. So 2 use cases. I'm going to go back to the search. We had a client come to us. They fix boilers and burners in brownstones and smaller apartment buildings. And they came to us and saying, our website company said that we need a video because it helps with SEO. A video. And I said, well, they're absolutely right, but a video might not do that. He's like, what do you mean? Well, ranking on search engines is all about creating content, not just one blog post or one page or one keyword. You have to do it a lot. So what we did is we came up with a way to, instead of doing that one kind of like high level corporate video, we did 14 FAQ videos around what people are searching on. And everybody listening now knows what their next prospect is searching on, what problems that they have, which would get them to come to you. Those are FAQ videos. So those are, number one, great ways to leverage a budget, because you can get many, many videos from a budget versus just one. Then you can take all of those videos, create a blog for each video. You can use them in email nurturing. You can send them after a phone call as a link. Remember, you want to put the video at the top of the page, at the blog page, not the bottom. So when somebody goes to the site, they'll see it. So all these things helped conversion. Their SEO went up about 30%. All the rankings went up 30% in the first 3 months because they implemented these videos. The second use case I have is on a more of a one-to-one sales process. They did a lot of lunch and learns. They did meetings like Zoom presentations. So the sales team created 5 videos of their technical team explaining their products. Not just one product, but multiple products. And what they did is they really relied on those videos to explain things rather than their salespeople explaining things. Getting in front of people with a PowerPoint, they just click the button, click the button, click the button. And you have technical people explaining things to technical people. Oh, and P.S., that set the stage for, we have all these videos up on our website, which then the audience knew that they could come back to the website to get those videos. And it's 4 years later, they're still driving sales.
So that strategy increased. There was a before and after ROI with that strategy of using video.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And what about the SEO story, your client?
I don't know about the conversions and how that led to revenue, but I know their SEO went up 30%.
Okay.
So,
and so I'm curious about something you said earlier, because you were talking about how people will not read, but the video is fast and it's easy. So can a video be too long?
It certainly can. Yeah. The answer is yes. But the goal is to never make a video longer than it has to be.
How do you know that?
That's part of the secret sauce. But if you going back to that product launch video, right? If you take that product launch and have that high level benefits, use cases, maybe talk about the features a little bit, and then answer all the 3 questions, you're going to have a really long video. And you're only going to have one doorway as well. But by breaking that up into the high level overview and then the 3 FAQs, opens up more doorways and then provides those doorways specific potentially to different people on the decision-making committee. So you can be targeted to them, right? But, I will say that is probably part of the secret sauce of working with somebody and helping them to take messaging and narrowing it down and having them understand, you really don't need to say this now because they're going to ask you that later. And it's not quite germane to that conversion, right? So stick to the stuff that's more germane to getting them to convert. And then they'll engage you into a conversation and they'll probably ask that question later. So those are some of the decisions that you can make.
Okay, well, that makes perfect sense to me because we teach prospecting, and I know pretty much everybody either doesn't say enough or they say far too much. So, I know, Robert.
Can I have an idea with that too. One of the things, if you're making sales presentations, a video is amazing for that reason. You'll never say too little. You'll never say too much. And your message will come across all the time because it's packaged in that video. The other thing is, and this happens all the time, it's so funny. People don't interrupt a video. And they'll put their phones down and they'll watch. And how many presentations have you been on that are or have done that are, 15, 20, 25 PowerPoint slides and people are checking their phones and they're interrupting, you're going off on a tangent, this and that, right? So a video streamlines communication and nobody interrupts a video.
Oh, I love that. So, anyways, Robert, I know you have a gift for all of our listeners. So tell us about your gift.
So it is an ebook about video production and video marketing tips, and it includes some of the topics we even talked about today. Like where should you get started with video? What should you do from a cost creative standpoint, from a motion graphics? How do you adopt a video first marketing strategy and repurpose that content? So there's a lot of good tips and information in there that somebody can jump to page 30 or start from page 1.
Okay, so we're going to put the link to Robert's ebook on video marketing tips. We're going to put that in the show notes. So as soon as you finish listening to this podcast, go to the show notes, click on the link. And Robert, where can people find you? If people want to connect with you, where should they go?
Best place to go would be MultiVisionDigital.com. My contact information is there, all of our social channels. If you want to get video tips, go there or subscribe to our YouTube channel. But MultiVisionDigital.com is probably the best place.
Okay, great. And so we will put that in the show notes, along with Robert's Facebook, his LinkedIn, and his YouTube channel. So as soon as you finish listening to this podcast,
check them all out. You will
go
be
to the show notes, click on the links. And you have been listening to Salesology Conversations with Sales Leaders with my special guest, Robert Weiss, no relation. He is the president of MultiVision Digital. And if you found value in listening to today's podcast, then please think about one business owner, one entrepreneur, one sales leader, somebody that you know that you think would also find value in listening to this podcast. And please do share the link with them. And Until we meet again, visualize yourself surrounded by cash, really large bills.
You've been listening to Salesology, Conversations with Sales Leaders, the art of faster, easier, more profitable sales. Be sure to follow so that you don't miss a single episode. And while you're at it, please leave a rating and review, and be sure to share it with your friends. Tune in every week for more exciting insights and wisdom on transforming sales. And until next time, visualize yourself surrounded by cash, very large bills.